Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from Major League Baseball, NHL, and UFC, and professional golf, BetOnline remains the number one source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline's casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Her name is Ocean. She is a single, professional, 32-year-old woman who makes $100,000 a year, is athletic, has style, likes to travel, and owns a condo. One more thing, she isn't a real person, but a muse, the imagined ideal customer for Chip Wilson's company, a company that would change the way women dress forever. What began in 1998 as a store selling $100 leggings grew into a brand, a lifestyle, an empire so big, not even its controversial founder being pushed out of the company could slow things down. Because even if Chip Wilson doesn't know the right thing to say to not offend people, he knows people. Their vanity, their insecurity, their yearning for perfection. It's because of this knowledge that Chip is a billionaire. Plus, he invented yoga pants. And that's why this episode of On Brand is on Lululemon.
We're all jazzed up, nearly having a cow. What's your favorite show? And it's on right now. It's on Brand.
Welcome to On Brand with Jon and Marisa. I'm Jon.
I'm Marisa. Sorry, I just put candy in my mouth.
Oh my God. All right. I'll do the heavy lifting for now. Okay. So Lululemon, you were really good at picking brands that I know so little about. While you were reading that cold open, here are things that went through my head. I was like, is it Lisa Frank? No, 1998 is too late for that. I was like, is it Kate Spade? Because I thought she got kicked out of her company, but she also committed suicide. So I was like, that seems dark.
Too sad.
Probably not that. $100 for yoga pants in 1998 seems insane.
Well, there you go.
I mean, Parker Posey could have afforded them. A small handful of women could have afforded these yoga pants.
The celebrity on the tip of your tongue is Parker Posey.
In 1998?
That's true, yes, okay.
Yeah, that is a celebrity on the tip of my tongue, and I think it's very on point.
I saw her at a restaurant once.
What?
Cafe Gratitude.
Bangs or no bangs?
Bangs.
Oh. God, is there a better celebrity sighting than Parker Posey
Posey's
with
bangs?
bangs? Oh my God. That's in my bucket list.
Have you ever been in a Lululemon, Jon?
No, I don't even know what it is. I think it's all stretch wear.
That is so funny. So
what's funny?
I picked Lululemon because it's just so funny how little you know. This is like one of the biggest brands in the world. Literally, the CEO, Chip Wilson, he is the 574th richest person in the world. He's like a billionaire many times over.
I hang with like more humble people. I'm not in the billionaire.
I thought you were going to say like the upper 500s. Like
Right.
This is a little low for you.
Yeah.
This is a mall brand. This is a huge brand. This is like, I don't know. It's kind of like Erewhon in the type of demographic that it serves, except it's like national. It just has such a chokehold on so many women. But they've recently, in the past several years, branched out into men's. I think that was kind of a punchline for a while. It's like men wearing Lululemon, but now it's getting a little bit more mainstream.
Well, call me in like 6 years when they start doing plus size men, and then I'll go there.
You like to sleep in tight pants.
Okay, so we all know and make fun I like to sleep in pants. I have been forced to sleep in pants lately. I talked to you about this. I'll bring it up on pod. Somehow mosquitoes are getting into my bedroom at night, and I keep my legs. I'll be laying in bed watching the Olympics, and like I'll get a mosquito bite, and so I keep putting on pants to protect myself from the mosquitoes.
And are you like, oh no, a mosquito? I guess I have to put my jeans back on.
No, I proudly sleep in pants, but it's been a little toasty, so I'm like, I'll go a few nights without pants, but I've been pants on several nights in a row.
Well, I'm wearing Lululemon. I own one pair of Lululemon leggings. They were a gift from my mother. And I am thinking that maybe because you like to be swaddled, you like a tight, restrictive pant, I think leggings might be what you need.
I do think there's a difference between a tight-ish pant and like skin tight.
But they're buttery.
I'll you buy a pair and I'll try them on.
Okay, great.
Or can you try them on in the store?
Yeah, I think you're allowed.
Let's go do a sesh.
I would love for us to go into a Lululemon and for you to ask for a fitting room holding up a pair of women's leggings.
I want to do that thing where at the Gap, if you need a different size, you just throw it over the top of the door, but start as small as possible so they just have to constantly keep bringing me one size bigger.
This would be good Patreon content. We just have a prank show that's on Patreon where we harass and harangue customer service people.
People are going to get so bored of us bringing up the Patreon because we keep teasing it and we really still don't know exactly.
We're strategizing. And, I'll throw it out there. If you have any things you're dying to see, inside peeks into Jon's storage unit, Al's live dating profile, maybe Al will go on a live date on the Patreon. That'd be fun. If there's things like that you're interested in, throw your suggestions out there. We're strategizing. We're in our meetings.
Yeah, help us brainstorm. I mean, we do have some ideas. We're not
sure.
We're not completely blank here, but yeah, I would love to know what people want. All right, so
Lululemon is huge.
Yeah, can't wait to learn about it. To me, it just seems like kind of a brightly lit store of things that I don't need.
Yeah, you have a really superpower where if something is not for you, your brain can almost recognize it. Your eyes will recognize it before your brain does, and it'll just erase it from the landscape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We could walk by a Lululemon 100 times and you'll be like, I didn't notice a Lululemon, because your brain just deletes it.
Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to picture the Lululemon logo. Is it kind of horseshoey? Is there a loop thing? Is it the L or is it just a shape with the word?
It's just an upside down horseshoe.
Okay.
It's based on the Greek letter omega.
Okay. So I would say branding is pretty good since I know that, and I have no affiliation or interest in the store yet.
That's huge, yeah.
So I think that's good.
Yet.
All right, cool. So we'll get to that. So let's see. There was a couple of topics I was interested in talking about. We won't get to all of them.
This is very Hoda and Jenna of us when we get on our hot topics.
Oh my God. Can we talk about Hoda for a minute? Did you see her today? You were probably too busy because your kids had first days of school.
Yeah. I didn't say kids hop on the bus. I'm watching Hoda.
Well, you should have, because it was her 60th birthday and they went all out.
That's fun.
How many? I mean, she cried throughout that whole thing.
Did a country star come on to serenade her?
They did.
They did?
They did. Of course they did. And then all these powerful women showed up, and then someone painted her a painting, and they just did all the things.
We'll be invited to her 65th on-air birthday.
That's a good goal.
Mark my words.
And when we get there on her 62nd, we'll tell her how we're there early.
For sure. I love that.
And she'll love that. She'll love that. She's like, you manifested that. Okay, so it's time to say goodbye to the Olympics. The Olympics ended last night, and I watched the closing ceremony. I know you saw part of it. You haven't seen all of it. And I had never really paid attention to when an Olympic ends, they basically pass the torch on to the next place that's going to host it, which is here in Los Angeles. And I got all the feels. I got emotional. I got human spirit. I got proud. It was just really cool.
You were swelling with pride. Yeah.
I'm swelling all over with
I love that.
pride. And if you didn't see it, Mayor Karen Bass was there to take the Olympic flag. Then Tom Cruise jumps off the stadium and he grabs the flag. He hops. This is the part you missed. You said it stopped for you after he got the flag. He hops on a motorcycle, drives through Paris on a motorcycle, rides the motorcycle up into a plane, gets on the plane, and he's like, I'm on my way. And then the plane takes off. He jumps out of the plane into Hollywood, lands in a field, runs to the Hollywood sign.
Amazing.
Turns the two O's in the Hollywood sign to two of the rings of the Olympic rings. And I was like, oh my God, of course. I am so glad someone thought of that. I have goosebumps. It was okay.
Fantastic branding.
I mean, couldn't be better. I was like, and it looked real. I don't know if it's still up. It looked like they did it cheaply, but I think they actually did it.
They're going to leave it up for 4 years?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if they just did it for a night. I want to find out, if it was up and down in a night. And I saw a little bit of behind the scenes in the shooting. It's so funny. That video kept going. It was so long. And someone comes and, takes the flag and just starts running through the streets of Hollywood. And all these people start, following him. And I think it's all people I should know, past athletes and stuff. But I don't know who any of them are. And they run past this woman who's, putting groceries in her car. And she's like, what? And she just starts running with them, too, and leaves her trunk open. So the whole time, I'm just like, she just left her trunk open. I love my city, but even you can't just run away with a group full of people.
Oh, certainly not. Not if you got Erewhon in the trunk.
And then I realized something else I'm a little fearful of.
What?
The Olympics and collecting. So
Oh, no.
I already went to the LA 28
No.
Olympic
Hey.
official merchandise page.
No.
There's so much merch. And what's insane to me is there's some of it's already half off. It's like 4 years away and they're like, we're already cutting
Wow.
can cozies in half. But here's why I think it's going to get tricky, because it is so on brand for me what they're doing. I don't know if you've paid attention to the LA 28 logo. It's an L and an A and 28. And the A can change into anything. Like they had Billie Eilish make an A. They had Red Hot Chili Peppers make an A. So there's going to be unlimited A's. And I know those A's are going to start to be like, oh, did you get like the Billie A comes on like an enamel pin? Did you get that? Like, I think there's going to be limited editions and collectibles and like,
boy.
I'm-
This is not good. This is really not good.
all I'm saying is when we do figure this Patreon out, you got to join, because I got a lot of money to spend
This is your Olympic budget.
on Olympic merch. But I can't wait.
I'm really scared for you for that.
I am too. Elle told me not to eat on the pod, and I just put a grape in my mouth.
Also, when we were chatting a little bit before the show, and I said, "Well, Jon, what's going on? We haven't chatted about like really brands or anything lately. Have you returned anything lately? Have you had any like customer service issue?" And you go, "No, not really." And then you go, "Well," and then what did you say?
I don't know why you think these things are interesting.
Okay, well, let's see if people think it's interesting.
People are here to hear about your pantyhose company. They don't want to hear about what I do on
a legs egg. Does it still come in the egg?
Oh my God. How much? I remember my mom sending me in. My mom sent me on a lot of errands.
She really did.
Steal perfume, get cigar boxes, go grab me 2 eggs.
What's she doing? She's just sitting in the car with the
stayed
air
in the-
conditioner on?
Yeah, she
Wow.
stayed in the car and sent me out to do her bidding. I couldn't by any chance have the cardboard legs display, could I? Sure, kid.
I have a feeling your mom had a hard time throwing out those plastic eggs that the legs pantyhose came in.
Yeah.
There's probably a plastic bag that was rattling around in your attic.
All right, if we're going to go tit for tat on moms, I have a feeling if there's anything I want to take home, I guarantee your mom will be able to put it in a Cool Whip container for me.
For sure. Oh, we have Cool Whip containers that date back to the Atlanta Olympics in 1994.
I'm sure you do, with that eagle on it. So, okay, I'll tell this story quickly. These are ways I get in trouble.
Yes, yes.
I bought 2 shirts at Target. I bought a Frog and Toad shirt and a Cure t-shirt.
Cute.
I left them in my car. One day I was like, oh, I think I never brought those shirts in. I went to go get the Frog and Toad. It had a stain on it. I was like, oh, man.
A you stain?
A me stain. Like, from something in the car, I probably put a bag on it.
A melted lipstick.
Something. A lip gloss had fallen out of my purse. Whatever. It had a stain on it. So I'm like, okay. And then I looked them online. They were online and they were cheaper. And I was like, okay, I'll rebuy them. And then I'll return the stain one and pretend I don't know how the stain got there.
We've all done that before.
Oh, you do that? Okay.
mean, sure.
Sure. So I rebuy the shirts, and then I forget to return the stained ones, and then I like look on my app, and like the last day to return them was 2 days ago. So now I've got like a stained version that I can't return, a new version which I wore to your house the other day, and so then I end up. It's just some things I have not figured out yet.
I mean, things like that, it's so much more. You think you're cracking the code.
Yeah.
And then you end up with like
Paying double.
double.
I just paid double. All I did was pay double.
Is the stain salvageable? Is it on the back?
Well, that's the I mean, I can't even find it anymore. I don't even know where I put it. I'm probably set it somewhere like, remember you got to take this back. And then now I don't even know where it's
This
at.
is a Patreon tier. Something that Jon forgot to return. Jon will send you in the mail.
I will sign that shirt and send it to you. That's in the $22 tier.
And that's really fun.
So that's the story of the shirts. Again, I can't imagine anyone finds that interesting. I'm just lazy.
We're fascinated by you, Jon.
And waste money. I'll throw those 2 shirts into the storage unit.
That's money that could have gone to like an Olympic keychain, a beanie.
A Bitcoin, anything better. We should do an episode on that. Okay, so Lululemon, let's get into it.
Lululemon. So Lululemon, obviously we know it as like the yoga pants, but this founder...
Dumb it down, actually, because I don't, like, is it just yoga pants? Like, I go into a Lululemon at the Glendale Galleria today, what am I looking at?
Yoga pants are definitely like their number one seller. They're called the Align leggings. And that's probably what I'm wearing right now. You know, they look like yoga pants. Like there's nothing like noticeable aside from like the little logo on the back of it, the back hem. Would you be able to distinguish a pair of Lululemon leggings from like really any other leggings that I feel like you got from Target? Maybe they feel a little different, but whatever. They used to be mostly leggings, and now, they have shoes, they have like men's clothes, they have all kinds of clothes. So it's not like it's just leggings anymore.
But when you say they have men's clothes, is it all still tight things, or can I go like
no?
Like what is it? A button-down shirt? Is it t-shirt? Is it all active wear?
It's all kind of like that tech apparel. Do you know what I mean? Like tech apparel. So even if like it's a dress shirt or like has a collared button-down shirt, but it's that material that makes it feel a little like Silicon Valley, a little like this is for a guy on the go.
It's like quick dry.
It's very quick dry. It's very moisture wicking. It's like they're inventing fabrics all the time. They have all these patents for like their names of fabrics that they're inventing. It's like that kind of thing. But if they're not all tight, that's not like the unifying thing between like the men's clothes and the women's clothes is that they're all skin tight.
Everything's skin tight. I do feel like it was in the 2000s that we went from, I used to go to the gym on and off semi-regularly. And so like I would always buy, like Target had a great cheap cotton tank top, and I would get a new one every 6 months or something. And then they became harder and harder to find, and I think everything became that like tech fabric.
Yes.
Which I don't love. I don't love it on my fingertips. I just like a nice simple cotton. I get for sweating. It's not the best. I would really get bogged down in cotton, and I'm sure that the high tech stuff is great. I just didn't love it, but
you're sweaty tits. You need all the tech you can get.
I'm sweating right now in my cotton, but I do feel like the industry changed. They shifted gears, and we're like, everyone wants a tech tank.
And that's certainly what Lululemon has leaned into. And that's like their biggest competitions are like Nike and Under Armour. And that is the way that Chip Wilson thinks that like all clothing is going. I mean, he's a very controversial guy. As I mentioned in the opening, he's been pushed out of the company. He said, the story of Lululemon, it's like half like, wow, what an innovator, like trend forecasting. There's some kind of genius there, like somebody who's able to see like the way that fashion is moving and the needs of the people are moving, but he's also like insane. So it's like we'll go kind of back and forth. You'll notice that.
And we're gonna get into his story.
Yeah, we'll get into
like
his story.
Dove Charney from American Apparel, who also was maybe geniusy or creative, and then also
he's kind of funny in his own way. Like he thinks in the future all food will be 3D printed. And
I mean, listen, I don't know that it won't.
I mean, he invented the yoga pants, so I'm kind of inclined to believe him.
Okay, that's kind of a bigger leap than me just thinking about the world as a whole progressing, but you can't just be like, well, this man did invent a yoga pant 30 years ago.
He's like obsessed with like longevity and health and kind of like staying alive as long as possible. He's like aging is a disease. So he's an interesting guy. So I'll start talking about him, and then we'll kind of talk about where his company evolved to.
Can I just throw in really quick? This made me think of, I remember in 5th grade, like, I don't know if it was something our teacher was teaching or if they were just like talking, but I remember my teacher in 5th grade saying like the future of clothing and apparel. And she's like, you guys should expect by the time you're whatever, in your 30s or 40s, you'll just buy like a roll of shirts. Like it'll be like paper towels. So you'll just have like in your closet, you'll have a roll of shirts, a roll of pants, and you'll just rip them off one by one.
Wow.
And that's where we're headed. So just be prepared for that.
Huzinga.
5th grade, huzinga.
Is she like seeking investors? She's like, so if any of your dads, like to invest in startups, let them know about T-shirts on a roll. That's a good name. I should actually use that, T-shirts on a roll.
She's just wearing Bounty paper towels, and we didn't know it. Like my parents couldn't afford to send me to school. It was just some lady.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not really good at like understanding the future, like what will be normal. I'm like Katie Couric when like she's trying to understand email. Like I feel like that about everything. You know what I mean?
I don't. I'm half and half because I feel like some things I do see like pop
You're in
culture
cyber
wise
world more than I am.
Yeah, like I kind of see where some things might be going, but yeah, some things I don't totally understand. And what amazes me is how crazy some things can change like over like so quickly, like technology and computers. If you look at those from like the last 20 years, how far they've come. But then other things like kind of move at a much slower pace. I was worried you were going to ask me for an example and I couldn't think of one. I was going to say doors. Like doors are still just a door. Like doors they've gotten a little high tech, maybe like a thumb, like they tried to have like a thumbprint lock.
But it's still a knob.
But it's just a knob.
Like spaceship doors where it's like 2 doors that get sucked into the sides.
And they're like, shh, 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 shh. Yeah.
Yeah. No houses have that.
I mean, stores do.
Oh, Al just reminded us that stores do have interesting doors.
But you have to step on that pad or get in the view of that.
And they're not in the home. Okay, we had him on that. Those kind of sliding doors, automatic sliding doors are not in the home. So that's my prediction. Okay, if we're all making future predictions, 3D printed food, sure. I think homes will have automatic doors.
The new NBA and MLB season is in full swing, and BetOnline has you covered with the best odds and biggest promotions and live in-game betting on all your favorite teams. Head to BetOnline today to stay updated on all the action. BetOnline, the game starts here.
If you're looking to streamline your audio advertising buys and maximize your revenue, look no further than Triton Digital's programmatic audio advertising exchange, A2X. The private exchange consists of only licensed broadcasters and top-tier internet radio publishers, assuring the quality inventory and brand safety you can trust. Visit www.tritondigital.com to learn more.
This is your before and after story, where your first steps towards a new life-changing career begin. Southeastern College can take you there. We offer in-demand hybrid and online programs with hands-on training, led by in-field career professionals, and career services to put you on the path to a rewarding and fulfilling future. This is where your transformation begins. Southeastern College, your future is bright. Visit sec.edu to get started.
So let's get into the story of Lululemon. And we can't talk about Lululemon without talking about its outspoken, controversial founder, Dennis J. Chip Wilson. I'll call him Chip Wilson.
What does the Chip stand for?
He just goes by Chip.
Oh, boy. Okay.
He's one of those guys. He was born in LA in 1955. He moves to Canada at age 5. Let me read something from his personal website, chipwilson.com. In 1975, I read the top 100 books of all time while trading my life in for money. My dad remarried Kathy, an Air Canada employee, and as her stepson, I received 5 free flights anywhere in the world. By age 19, I might have been the wealthiest, most traveled, and best read boy in the world. He's a strange man.
I think it's common for people that build big things to be strange.
I also don't know if his family, I couldn't find anything about if his family was very wealthy, but it feels like he comes from money.
Yeah.
A few years after that, after he's 19, he graduates with a bachelor's degree in economics from the University of Calgary. He starts his first company. So he's also very entrepreneurial. He's an athletic guy. He takes pride in how he feels like he can see, trends that are on the horizon, what the next big thing is, the openings in the market. He starts his first company, West Beach Surf Company, that evolves into a skateboard company called Homeless Skateboards.
Hmm?
See, there's just a lot of question marks with this guy.
Where does that name come from?
So we had a lot of customers in Japan, and he noticed that in Japan, they don't use any L sounds in any brand names.
Okay.
And so by having an L in his brand, Homeless, he said that kind of made it sound like it was a really American company. Sure, there were other words that had L in them, but that was the one that he picked.
He thought the word homeless
sounded American.
More American than the fact of someone not having a home.
I'm telling you, he's an odd guy.
It's an odd duck. We're going to have to use his name for something moving forward. I think he may go into the on-brand lexicon.
Yeah.
That's a chip.
It's a real chipper. So then it turns into a snowboard company. He does pretty well for himself. And in 1998, he sells the company and he starts looking for his next venture. So now he's 42. He's got a little back pain, sure as we all do. We hit our 40s. And he found that the young women in his yoga class, it was mostly all women, they didn't have quality, functional, athletic clothing specifically designed for yoga that was flattering and stylish. So he had this fabric that he had used for female snowboarders that was kind of like a long underwear kind of fabric. And he developed that into black stretch yoga pants. And at this point, there aren't any yoga pants.
I was going to ask, nobody was wearing any sort of stretch pants at this point.
Nobody was wearing any black stretch yoga pants.
What year is this?
This is 1998.
But didn't they?
There was dance wear. There was
maybe that's,
aerobics clothes.
That's
but
what I'm thinking of.
It was different. It was really thick and really shiny. It wasn't
I'm thinking
as
of
fashionable. You're thinking of Suzanne Summers.
Yes, I
Jazzercise.
am. I'm thinking of Thigh Master and Jazzercise and Richard Simmons and 70s and 80s shiny, tight clothing.
So that's what the yoga teacher was wearing, was this kind of dance wear inspired, because it is tight, but it's not the same material. It's not fashionable. but it was like tight, shiny, metallic, and seemed really dated in 1998.
Got it.
But this like matte black, like second skin, the kind of like yoga tight pant, it didn't exist.
Yeah.
So we don't even get too far into the Lululemon story without finding some controversy. The name he came up with for his company, Lululemon, his experience with his skateboard company, Homeless. He says, oh, well, the letter L in Homeless, it was very intriguing. It made it sound very American because it's not in Japan. It sounds very exotic. He played around with many versions of alliterative L names, and he decided on Lululemon, spelled with a lowercase L for a relaxed vibe. He says, it's funny to watch Japanese people try to say Lululemon. So he's like one day into being CEO of this company, and he's already like, oh, Chip.
Just kind of as a joke, like, this will be fun.
Yeah, like, this will be fun. And there's a lot of that with him.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's a real chipper.
It's a cool name. I think it's a standout name. I would have known that had anything to do with just the L's.
Well, and even like it's one of those nonsense things. Like, if I was tasked with designing like a yoga pant company, I'd be like, yoga vibe.
Right. Well, and it kind of feels like it also fell into that world that I talked about in the Goop episode with Gwyneth Paltrow when she heard that companies that had 2 O's were more successful. So she did Goop and just put her initials on the beginning and end of it. I feel like there's all these different naming trends that kind of come and go.
And so he was trying to, lean on something that sounded like, to an Asian market, very American. So, I mean, is he a genius?
Why was he playing so much to the Asian market?
His other previous companies were successful in Japan, and he has a lot of respect for, like, Japanese quality of the materials and the attention to detail. So he cared a lot about what the Japanese customer thought about his yoga pants, I guess. So it's now 2000, and Lululemon started as a design studio during the day and a yoga studio at night, with the first storefront opening in 2000 in Vancouver. I didn't know it was started in Canada.
I didn't know it was like a buy store. So like at literally the clothing store at night, people would go there to do yoga?
It's a limited selection, yeah, but people are doing yoga there at night.
Okay.
Have we ever done a yoga class together?
I have done. My friend Mandy, she used to give me private yoga lessons in Griffith Park.
In the park.
She was shocked by my balance.
Oh, okay.
That has since gone away. I tumble all the time. I can't turn quickly without falling. But at the time, she would always tell me she was quite impressed with my balance.
Oh, wow. And on uneven turf, too, on grass.
On grass.
I'm impressed.
Mosquitoes buzzing around.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Nipping at your ankles.
It's like, I guess I like it enough. I don't know that I crave it, but...
It would help if you weren't wearing tight jeans.
You know what you needed.
I needed. If I had had some Lululemons, I probably would continue the practice.
Yeah, absolutely. The first Lululemon product was little black stretchy pants made from his unique snowboard tech fabric. And at that point, this is the first time people are seeing yoga pants, clothing designed specifically for yoga. They became very quickly popular in the yoga community. And then it started to take off, more as like, oh, well, these pants are just really comfortable. So like people are wearing them outside of the gym. And this is when you're first starting to see that phenomenon that is very American too. I hear that like in Europe, this is like unheard of to wear like exercise clothes when you're not exercising, like you're running errands and you're going to Target and you're throwing on yoga pants. Yeah. So this is like the moment when that started. And Chip Wilson is the one who made it happen.
And then it's yoga pants and Crocs. And then it's like each part of your body has like its sad point.
Yeah, we just want to be more and more comfy. What's the saddest top someone can wear?
I don't know. When I said that, I was trying to think, what would the saddest top be? I don't know if we've discovered it yet. Maybe that's our mission.
A giant, oversized polo shirt.
Are you thinking of Billie Eilish?
I think I am thinking of Billie Eilish.
Before the show, we were talking about Billie Eilish's fashion choices, which, granted, I can't say that I want to emulate them. I actually think that she does them so that everyone won't copy the way she looks. Because
it's like too ugly to copy.
Yeah. Like some of these pop stars, it's like everyone, remember when Madonna, I love that, that's my closest reference. Remember 48 years ago when Madonna hit the scene and every girl was wearing jelly bracelets.
Crimping their hair.
Like she didn't want a bunch of Billies out there. So she's like, I'm just going to dress like trash and have a great voice.
I'm going to dress like somebody's like 60-year-old father. Yeah, that's great. So Chip, as I mentioned, he's never far away from some kind of gaffe. He makes a statement. Anytime you put a mic in front of this guy, he says that birth control causes divorce because women don't have to make relationships work, because with birth control, women have like their own life control, so they're not reliant on a man. And men didn't change when birth control came out because they wanted a stay-at-home wife like their mothers. He says breast cancer was caused by cigarette-smoking power women who are on the pill. And taking on the stress previously left to men in the working world. So like these hotshot CEOs, you know, they're chain smoking, they're taking the pill, they're getting jizzed in, you know, 4 nights a week, and that causes breast cancer.
This guy, I think he might have mommy issues or something. Something happened in his life. I love that his whole fortune is based on creating an outfit so that a woman can keep herself looking good. And then all he has to do is find someone that also won't take the pill and follow under all of his other rules to have unlimited children with him, I guess.
Yeah, he's a tough cookie, old Chippy.
I don't know. I don't know if I don't know where I'm headed on this.
See if you're sold. I'll tell you a little more as it goes on and see if you're getting sold on it.
I'm just going to tell you right now, you've got your work ahead of you for this to be on brand for me.
Okay, great. So now it's 2005. I graduated high school a year before.
Okay. We're 7 years away from me winning an Emmy. I mean, it meant something to everybody.
Chip brings investors on board. He hires a former Reebok executive. It feels like it's like kind of like, okay, we've survived the thing about the birth control and the cigarettes. Okay, we've survived the lululemon, the lightly racist.
Were those big blow-ups? Like, were those like things that really did kind of like he had to confront or?
Yeah, I mean, everyone else, like the company is doing so well that it's like, it's not enough to like knock it back because it's like people are just so excited to have yoga pants like for the first time ever that they're like, well, we'll forgive him. We got yoga pants.
They're trying to keep him away from sight.
Yes. So now it feels like it's pumping. They trademark their fabric, Luon fabric. It's the nylon microfiber. It's breathable. It's stretchy. It's beautiful.
Okay.
Chip Wilson says child labor can be good.
Oh, boy.
Because it provides children in third world countries with much needed wages.
I mean, as someone whose mother was constantly sending them out to do things, I do think there are...
You are a victim of child labor.
I am slightly a victim of child labor, so I get it. But man, this guy...
Did you have a job as a kid?
Always.
Yeah, like what kind of, like as like a, I mean like a little kid, like a paper route, or like did you mow lawns or anything?
I mowed lawns. My dad hired us when we were very young. He would take us to his office and we would wash windows. Like his office was in like a shopping center.
Oh, fun.
So there was like a Kroger and other things there. So we would get paid in the summer to go there and wash the windows. I started working at I think 15. So like I've always been in the workforce.
Did you try to pull like a Tom Sawyer Huck Finn thing where you had a lot of fun washing the windows to convince a passerby to take your job over for you?
No, I think of that as like a Kendall Jenner. Didn't she do that on the Kardashians? Like she paid someone to like do whatever she had to do.
That does sound familiar.
What was really fun, it was in Landon. If you're from Ohio, it was in the Landon Shopping Center where the Kroger is still there. And then for some reason, it was a little swampy behind it. I don't know where the water came from because it wasn't by water. But there was days you would go out there and there would be 10
crocodiles?
10 crocodiles. And I named them all. No, but there'd be like 10 million tiny frogs. And they were so cute. They were like the size of a quarter. And they would just be unlimited frogs. So as a kid, I mean, who's not going to love that?
I mean, I would like maybe 3 of those. I feel like that sounds like too many.
That was always Ellen's joke. Where like a million anything is scarier than one something.
Not you. You're like more frogs the merrier. Bring them on, baby.
Merrier. I was making like frog angels. Eating bowls of frogs like cereal. It was great.
Wow, what a fun summer working for Daddy. John, you haven't touched your lunch. Ribbit. So Chippy, he says child labor can be good. People are saying, you know, the clothes they're coming in really small sizes. Can you maybe get some bigger sizes in the stretchy pants? He says it takes 30% more fabric to create plus size clothes, and he doesn't want to charge more for plus size pants because plus size people are sensitive.
All he's saying is no clothes for fatties.
Yes.
He's like that guy who ran Abercrombie and Fitch, which was around the same time. They're probably brothers.
They might be secret brothers.
I think they're secret or the same guy.
This was a really tough time to be a plus size person because the mall was not a friendly place.
No. And I'm old enough. Well, I mean, not old enough. I read
how
about
old are
it. I don't know if you remember Abercrombie and Finch. Am I saying that right? Abercrombie and Fitch?
You said it wrong in like 2 different ways.
I've said it like 30 ways.
You said Abercrombie and Fitch.
I know, but everyone knows what I'm talking about. Abercrombie and Fitch.
Uh-huh.
They used to be like a flannel shop. Like they used to be like woodsman wear. And then they became like hot guy wear.
It's kind of like how Banana Republic was like safari clothes.
Safari wear. And they had those pants where you could unzip the legs. And I wanted them so bad.
It's like collectively at the mall, like both stores at the same time. We're like, wait a minute.
No one's
We're like
going...
at a mall like in like Dallas, Texas. Like where are the woodsmen and like where are the safari people? Why don't we just make clothes for teenagers?
Let's just make clothes for hot people. That's our crowd. That's a good point.
2007, the company goes public. They raise $327.6 million through the sale of over 18 million shares. So, I mean, it's like I'm saying, Chippy is trying to chip away at the success. He can't even touch it. Lululemon gets in some hot water. They made false claims about one of their fabrics. It was called Vita C, and they claimed that the clothing had anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, moisturizing, and detoxifying benefits that were, of course, proven false because it's fabric.
It's called Vita C.
Vita C, like the ocean, SEA.
Oh, there were so many things you just said there, and I was trying to craft a joke because you said Lululemon got in hot water, and I'm like, okay, lemon and hot water, and then you're like, the clothes are Vita C, which is like vitamin C. There was like so many pieces to like, probably if I was a funnier person, there was a great joke there somewhere.
You could be like, Lululemon and hot water. What is it? Tea time? Vita C. What do you feel a cold coming on?
That's why I didn't try it. Thank you for doing it for me. Because those are basically the things that were going through my head.
Yeah. We're both equally funny, and there's definitely people funnier than us.
Everyone's had to pull over. Everyone that's listening while they're driving right now unexpectedly had to pull over.
Like somebody just like stopped talking mid-sentence and is staring off into space, and like their friend in the car is like, "Are you okay?" And they're like, "I don't like this podcast anymore."
It's so funny. People that don't know us in our personal lives, we like to like ice each other out whenever we can. If someone says anything stupid, like we try to see how long we can go without being quiet. Usually Al's always the one that breaks first, usually because David has made a face. But we try. But I've realized it's very hard to do that on the pod because a lot of people will be like,
they'll think their phone died.
Yeah, they'll be like, did something mess up? Like, they'll just go to another pod. So you got to laugh faster.
So 2011 is a curveball.
Okay.
The Lululemon murder.
Chip killed someone?
Well,
we don't know.
There was an incident that happened, and I know this is obviously not, I don't think this is a true crime podcast. I wouldn't classify it as that. But, you know,
if it gets us more listeners,
if it gets us more listeners, you know, people love true crime. I'll share the story of the Lululemon murder. If you're not up for hearing a grisly true crime story, just skip that forward button, tap that 6 times. It's March 12, 2011 in Maryland, and a Lululemon manager arrived in the morning to find the door to the store is unlocked. There's clothing and merchandise strewn about, mannequins are in disarray. She could hear someone in back of the store moaning, so she's scared. She asked the man outside to help her search the store, and he found an employee of the store named Jana Murray lying dead in a back hallway, face down in a pool of blood with something tied around her neck. Brittany Norwood, another employee, was found in the bathroom, semi-unconscious with zip ties on her wrists and ankles and blood on her face. Bloody footprints were tracked through the store. Are you scared?
Yes.
Brittany Norwood told police that after she and her coworker, Murray, had closed the store the previous evening, she realized she had forgotten her wallet and called Murray to let her back in the store. Alarm records showed that the door was unlocked at 10:05 p.m. Then, according to her, 2 men wearing ski masks entered the store, attacked them, and sexually assaulted them. So police are treating Norwood as a victim, but something doesn't add up. Murray, the murder victim, had been savagely attacked, sustaining at least 331 wounds from at least 5 different weapons, including a knife and a hammer, which may have come from a toolbox in the store. Brittany Norwood's injuries were relatively minor and appeared to be consistent with self-inflicted wounds. A forensic expert at the trial testified that the blood on her face from a cut on her forehead had dripped straight down, suggesting that she had been upright most of the night, not lying on the bathroom floor where she was found. The bloody footprints in the store came from 2 pairs of shoes, a pair of men's size 14 Reebok sneakers, which were found inside the store, and Brittany's own shoes. It was discovered that the tracks ended before either exit to the store. Additionally, investigators did not find evidence that either woman had been sexually assaulted. During the investigation, it came to light that an employee and a manager at the Apple store next door had heard an altercation through the wall the previous evening. Surveillance footage from inside the Apple store shows them standing next to the shared wall, then walking away, while security guard sits nearby listening to music on an iPod. The employee testified at Norwood's trial that she heard women arguing, one saying, "Talk to me, don't do this, talk to me, what's going on?" followed by screams, sounds of something or someone being hit or dragged, and a weak voice saying, "God help me, please help me." The manager testified that he thought the noise was just drama. Police also found blood in Brittany's car, which was identified at the trial as a mix of both her and the victim's blood. When they asked Norwood whether she had moved the car, which was found at a farmer's market 3 blocks away, she admitted that she had. She claimed the men inside had ordered her to, and told her that if she didn't come back in 10 minutes, they would kill her. She also said that she had seen a police officer while she was moving the vehicle, but hadn't spoken to him. Norwood was arrested a week after the slaying and charged with first-degree murder. Statements by police officials and testimony during the trial indicated that on the evening of the murder, Murray and Norwood checked each other's bags for unpaid merchandise, a routine security procedure at Lululemon and many other retail stores. Murray found a pair of pants in Norwood's bag and called their manager after she left the store. The manager said she would deal with it in the morning. A few minutes later, Norwood called Murray to say she'd forgotten something and asked Murray to return to the store and let her in. When Murray arrived, Norwood attacked her, moved the car, then staged the scene to look like a robbery. Norwood put on a pair of men's shoes to track blood across the floor, tossing mops, brooms, and chairs, and finally cut herself binding her own wrists and ankles with zip ties. On January 27, 2012, Norwood was sentenced to life in prison for first-degree murder. She is now at the Maryland Correctional Institute for Women.
Okay, I gotta be honest. That is a lot to unpack, but I feel like with the small amount of time I've been on the case, I knew it was her. As soon as she said, the men told me to move my car to the farmer's market, I was like, it's you.
I would love the idea of you as like a monk-style detective who's like, you know, you have unconventional methods, but you always like get the person to confess.
God, I would kill to be that guy. That just one more thing. Like I'm leaving and they're like, oh, I got away with it. And I just turn around and, oh, there's just one more thing I can't figure out. I would kill to be an Angela Lansbury, a monk, Columbo.
I think you still might someday.
I am incredibly fascinated with forensics. I don't watch any of the shows that anybody watches.
They're a little scary.
They're a little scary. My sister loves them, and I think my mom likes them. But I am so fascinated with like what they've been able to figure out with like splatters of blood or the way things move or fall.
I think you could be a splatter expert. You know your way around a splatter or two.
I've seen a lot of splatter in my day. I have felt splatter in my life.
That time you called me when you were out of town and you got some splatter in your eye.
We video chatted.
Yeah, we FaceTimed. You had a little splatter in your eye.
That one burned. Not gonna lie. But yeah, I should be the expert splatter guy.
Can you imagine murdering somebody because they caught you shoplifting? This would be tough for you.
God, I was such a good shoplifter. I mean, I did get caught 3 times, but...
Considering you shoplifted 400 times, that's actually a pretty good average.
Considering how much I did. I mean, my go-to when I started working in the malls, I think I've told it on the pod, was just throwing stuff away.
Yeah.
And then I would just go to the dumpster after work and just take the whole bag of garbage home. There you go. Done, done, done. It was great. I won't say what stores I did that at, but I did that pretty frequently.
Abercrombie and Fitch.
Abercrombie and Finch. Wow. So this story has everything. A psychotic CEO, a murder, a name that makes no sense, clothing I'll never wear.
2013, Fortune magazine names Lululemon one of the fastest growing companies for the third year in a row.
Wow. Good for
Chip
them.
Wilson says Lululemon leggings are see-through because you're too fat.
Oh, if you weren't stretching them out so much, they wouldn't be see-through?
Yes. So they started to receive some backlash for the poor quality of the leggings, that they're see-through, they're pilling. Some women who tried to return the pants, I would love this if this was you. Some women who tried to return the pants at Lululemon stores said they were told to put them on and bend over so staff members could determine just how see-through they were.
What?
Chip Wilson's response is to all this controversy, frankly, some women's bodies don't actually work for wearing Lululemon pants. It's really about the rubbing of the thighs, how much pressure is there over a period of time, how much they use it. So he's claiming that there's nothing wrong with the pants, you're just too fat for them. The company then did, however, recalled 17% of all the pants sold because there was like a manufacturing problem.
Oh, there was.
Yeah.
So both sides are, I guess, have a point. This does remind me of Air One when they were like, yeah, our stuff is expensive. It's not for poor people. If you're poor, you can get a slice of pizza and leave.
And that's his philosophy. He's like, if you're for everybody, you're for nobody. He's like, that's what he takes great pride in, is like, we're not for everybody. And that's like same as Erewhon and their fantastic $21 strawberries, which I'll never likely taste again.
God, you just picture like the Erewhon people, the Lululemon guy, Chip, the Abercrombie guy, just sitting around like they're all vacationing in Big Bear together.
Oh, yeah.
Just laughing at all the fatties. That's sad.
It is sad.
With all their billions of dollars. I mean, they have figured something out because they're quite wealthy.
I mean, richer than we'll ever be.
Because of people like me.
Maybe we need to start turning on the plus size community. That'll really make us rich. It seems to have worked for those two CEOs.
Maybe we should start realizing that brands are bad.
Is this whole show a lie? This podcast from here forward is only for people who are size 0 to 2. Okay? You heard it. You heard it.
Oh, Lordy. No, we like you all. We're very inclusive.
2014, the first Lululemon opens in Europe.
Okay, here we go.
2015, Wilson announces his resignation from the board. He starts to use his own website, chipwilson.com, to criticize Lululemon.
Nofatties.com.
Nofatties.com, which is really funny. I love how petty he is. In 2016, he started just like slamming the company's board and management. He wrote an open letter on Wednesday because he wanted to like speak at like the board meeting or whatever it is to like the shareholders, and they wouldn't let him. So he was like, I'm going to make an open letter. He just publishes it. The brand has lost his way. They've given up market share in the midst of the greatest change in the way people have dressed in the history of the world, is what he says. Which, I mean, is this the greatest change? I guess I Love Lucy times. We talk about Lucy a lot on the show.
Yeah.
I Love Lucy times. The way a woman dressed when she was like doing housework, completely different from now.
Well, everything you would like if you're going to get out of bed, because like you have to put on a nightgown, like and like men wouldn't go to dinner without a tie, like or a hat, like everything in the 50s was different.
Yes, and I don't know if like he wants to take like full credit for it. It might have just been like everyone's getting like lazier and more tired.
But what's funny is he was the king of a brand that kind of had people dressing worse than ever.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it might be a nice garment, but like wearing yoga pants to the grocery store is one step up above wearing sweatpants to the grocery store.
For sure. And that's like why people like them, is because they're comfortable. But he credits himself with, changing the history of the world in a very significant way.
I guess.
So he's 68 and he's still so worked up about the company he started in 1998. He had made so many critical comments about Lululemon that like people try to like cut him off early when he's doing interviews because he's just like making the brand seem so bad. He still is the majority shareholder. He owns like 8% of the company, but he has a website called elevatelululemon.com where he just complains about the company. He started his own website just to do that.
I don't know anything about like politics in corporate America, but that seems like that would be illegal.
You would think, because he's not on the board anymore. He doesn't have any like executive power. This is, I guess, his way. He's just kind of saying like, I'm not happy with how it's going. So he's saying,
Oh, he's just a shareholder. He's not
Yes.
a part of it. I guess, yeah, that makes sense then.
and I mean, but he made like billions and billions of dollars. Why is he so upset? Go on a stand-up paddleboard, eat a snow cone, live your life,
Yeah,
have a ball. Come
have
on,
fun.
who cares? Nonetheless, it's in its 26th year, and the company continues to grow with approximately 34,000 employees, 655 stores worldwide. So where does Lululemon fit in as a brand now? They're competing with Nike, Under Armour. I feel like quality yoga clothes, you can find them at like Target now. Like it's
Yeah.
not hard to find. If you're Chip Wilson, you believe the brand has totally lost its way. He does like that they're now selling shoes. That was his like one thing he said on his website. He was like, I do like that you're selling shoes. We should have been doing that years ago. Their gross profits for 2023 were $4.492 billion.
I mean, what's there to complain about? Like, it's
know.
incredible. Like, you created this niche thing that became like a regular category in the fashion industry, and you're still kind of riding
Mm-hmm.
on that. You haven't gone into like home goods or like done so many things that other companies have
For
tried.
sure. You're not like seeing like a Lululemon throw pillow at TJ Maxx.
Right, exactly. Do they have like Lululemon outlet stores? I could see him doing that. I could be like,
Yeah.
I could see him being like, you know what? I will make clothes for the fatties, and it'll only be in the outlet stores.
People do say they have like a couple, because now he's not in charge. The plus size that they have, people say like, oh, it's like two things and like tossed in a pile in the back.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, they must be doing something right from a business standpoint because they're very wealthy.
Can I tell you another quick story? I
Of
know
course.
that we're not supposed to go off topic on this show.
We're supposed
But
to.
I had to go to a wedding once years ago, and this is when I was at my heaviest. If you don't know me, I have fluctuated weight a lot over the years, and I was at one of my heaviest periods, and I had to go to a wedding, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to treat myself to like a Banana Republic sport coat to wear to this wedding.
Fun.
So I go to the Banana Republic, and I was like, I'm looking for a sport coat, and the guy literally looked at me and was like, we only sell your size on the internet. And like, I'm tearing up now because it was just such like, I could understand maybe you don't have all sizes in
my
stock,
God.
but it was handled so poorly.
It was like your Julia Roberts Pretty Woman moment. Like, sir, the store's not for you.
It was, but I never had that moment where I went on the shopping spree and came back and found that little queer bow and was like, big mistake, Bruce.
There's a way to deliver that, like, there's limited sizes in store.
Yeah.
In a nicer way.
You know where I ended up getting my jacket?
Where?
JCPenney.
Oh no, John, don't let him win. Don't let him win.
He won. It was really affordable, though.
J.C. Penney. God,
day.
are there three sounds that like make your heart sink harder than those three? J.C. Penney.
JCPenney.
How far they fell. Our local Lululemon is a few miles away. It's in Glendale. And I looked on Google to see what the reviews were. What are the people saying?
Okay.
So I feel like this could be a segment. Maybe we could call it like star search or like star, something with star in it.
Stars.
A star is born.
We bring in an 8-year-old to sing a song. All right, let's hear it.
Okay.
Let me guess. There's going to be someone like, the quality used to be better.
So this is a 1-star review. I bought pants from this store and was going to wear it today, then just found out they haven't even taken the sensor off from the pocket. So now I have to go to another Lululemon closer to my home to get that fixed. Not even sure the people from a different store will help. Thanks a lot for the extra trouble from this store. Very upset. 1 star
I mean,
because
it's
the
a
sensor was
valid
left
reason
on?
to be upset, though. That is frustrating.
1 star?
You can't take those off yourself unless you can buy the little gun and do that.
Do you own the little gun?
I have the gun.
Do you really?
No, of course I don't have the gun.
It'd be good for a shoplifter to own a gun.
That'd be great.
Do they sell those on eBay for shoplifters?
I'm sure on the dark web.
Literally horrible. I asked a worker if they had what I was looking for, and his response was, "No, honey, it's December 21st. What did you expect?" And walks off with attitude. Never had a good experience at this location.
Again, I'm kind of on Lulu's side. It's 3 days before Christmas and she's mad they're not stocked with all the sizes.
I love imagining you working retail Lululemon with a little headset saying, "No, honey, it's December 21st. What'd you expect?"
I'd be like, hold on, let me check back. Hey, do we have a size 4 in the back? But I'm just listening to Billie Eilish in my
Yes.
thing. No, unfortunately.
This is the 1 5-star review in recent times, a month ago. 5 stars. Free Wi-Fi and air conditioning since it's summer and it's hot and the employees are nice and it's clean here. 5 stars. So the only 5-star review for Lululemon is the free Wi-Fi and the air conditioning.
Oh, they have Wi-Fi? Maybe I'll start working there instead of Taco Bell. Do they have a counter?
There might be like a bar counter, or I guess the counter where like the cash register is. Do you want to camp out there for a bit?
Oh, God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I started laughing during that. Al told us that I never eat during the show, and I've like...
You crunched into a grape.
I have this bowl of grapes, so I'm like, this is a moment I can sneak a grape. And I put a big one in my mouth.
It was a real
and I could see
juicer.
him see me in the corner of my eye, and I took a bite, and it sounded like I was cracking a bone. And I was right in the microphone.
Well, they're good grapes.
They're good grapes.
They have a real snap to them.
But I'm focused.
So those are the reviews. That's what the people are saying about Lululemon. The critiques are maybe about the store experience, customer service, but not the quality of the clothes. And the praise is for the Wi-Fi and the air conditioning.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take all reviews with a grain of salt. You go down Amazon and someone's like, I give it 1 star because they said it'd be here Tuesday and it got here Wednesday. It's like, what are you doing?
Doctor, 1-star, receptionist was rude. I'm not here for the receptionist. I'm here to find out if I'm dying.
Yeah, did he help me with my cancer?
So that's Lululemon.
Wow, this has been, for so many reasons, quite a ride.
What a
the last
journey.
hour and a half. So, is Lululemon on brand or off brand for you, Marisa Penson?
They're not on brand for me. The price alone, $100 leggings, I don't care about the status of it being Lululemon. I own a couple things that are Lululemon, and I do think like, okay, I do like maybe the quality of them, but it's not something I would never say, oh, I need a new pair of yoga pants. I'm going to go to Lululemon, or I want to make sure that little horseshoe is like visible on my yoga pants. So Lululemon is not on brand for me.
Okay.
What about you, John? Is Lululemon on brand for you?
It's not. I think this is our first double dud. Like it doesn't offer me anything. You know what really solidified it for me is when you said that there's one in Glendale, I can't picture where it is. And I know where almost everything is, even if I don't go there or not. I don't know if it's in the Americana. I don't know if it's in the mall. I can't visualize where the storefront is. I don't love the story of the founder, which I can set aside if it was a product that I really needed, but it's not.
I mean, as a brand podcast, we have to occasionally set that aside for brands we love.
Of course.
Of course.
But for this one, I'm folding it into the cake that I'm baking right now, and I'm going to icing it with a big fat no candle right on top.
Oh, wow.
But of course, if you love Lululemon, we support you in all of your choices, and it's okay if you hate fat people, I guess. I mean, I'm rather...
So yeah, we're curious. Are you pro child labor like Chip Wilson?
Yeah.
Do you think it provides valuable work experience for the children of Bangladesh?
Yeah. Where do you stand on Lululemon?
Yeah.
I would like to know. I'm sure there's some brand freaks out there that love it.
I'm sure. I mean, you say this now. You'll be back next week with an Olivia Rodrigo by Lululemon, whatever.
Well, I mean, if they made Olivia Rodrigo or Taylor Swift men's yoga pants,
Now we're talking.
I'd consider it.
Where's the Olivia Rodrigo Stanley Cup, John?
I haven't opened it yet. It was the thrill of getting it, and it's been sitting in my kitchen. I'll bring it. I'll bring it for my next app. Well, thank you so much. Well, thank you so much for teaching us about this new brand, another brand that I really didn't know much about. I feel like I'm very informed the next time we're on a cigarette break in my next yoga class and we're just gabbing about the pants we're wearing. I can toss out some fun little facts. And it's kind of interesting. It's another one that revolves around like a special foamy,
special fabric
thing. Like you really have a niche for patented foamy fabrics.
Because I'm trying to find mine. So I'm like, it's a list that I'm gradually crossing things off what I can't do. Okay.
I love it.
I can't do the fabric that made the yoga pants. I can't do the croc foam. Okay. I can't do the scrub daddy.
Yeah.
What's left?
What's left? Well, awesome. It was very entertaining, and thank you for teaching that. I know you usually do the shout-outs, but we got a very interesting shout-out on Apple Podcasts this week that I wanted to call out for a couple of different reasons. We joke a lot with Alistair here, our incredible producer, about how he's looking for love and all those sorts of things. And we had a listener, a brand freak from the beginning, who who gave a shout out to Alistair, curious if he was still single. Now, obviously,
who could blame this freak? I mean, Alistair, what a catch. Quite an eligible bachelor.
Impeccable dresser, always clean, will just eat the slightest bit of a peep. That's him going wild. And apparently all those things really tantalize this listener. And they were understandable with the logistics. This person lives in Pennsylvania. Alistair lives here. I think he's mostly settled in California, but probably open to moving.
Oh, yeah. For love. Would you be open to moving for love? He's, nodding, yeah.
This person is athletic. They're in their early 20s. I mean, okay, that all sounds great. Now, the only thing that Alistair was struggling with a little bit, I think, is the fact that it was a man. Alistair's looking for a woman. He is a straight man. I said maybe it's time to... we all have to...
Well, I mean, if you have 100 things on your list of the perfect mate, one of them is that it's a woman, but that's only one out of 100 things.
That's one thing.
If it's everything else, he loves sweeping. He loves puzzles.
Yeah, he literally said he was thinking about when he was deep cleaning his pantry, I think is what he said. So he was cleaning, and he's like, I think Al's the one. I've listened to him for 64 episodes, and I'm quite sure. And so he was curious if Al might be interested. I'll leave that up to Al. It probably won't work. I have to say, I love that I am very openly gay, and no one from the show is interested in me.
Yeah, that this listener who's like been listening to every episode, he's like a gay man, and he's like, which one of the hosts of On Brand I want to date?
Yeah.
Alistair.
They're like, there's two men on this show. I could date one. Should I date the clean one who may not be gay, or the obviously gay one who's always sweating and burping and maybe more of a challenge?
Lives in 300 square feet, has a shopping addiction. Sure.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, good luck. I hope you get Al.
We'll put it out there that Jon is single too.
Sure.
So that was JC Johnny Boy, Al's future husband, who left us that lovely review. We also had Midwest Aaron, who wrote a beautiful review, the best pod, funny and informative. We just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to write these reviews, or A Quest for Love. We support both. It really, really helps at the show. So if you haven't left us a review, 5 stars, write a little something nice. It really means a lot to us.
And I have a long list of people that got the Insta egg right. I'm just going to pick 5 people at random. I'm going to give a shout out to Michelle E. I'm going to give a shout out to Jordan Shoemaker, to Jillian Schulten. Of course, Corey Hatton. Corey's back in the game. He had been gone for a couple of weeks. I was worried about him. And then I'm going to give an extra big shout out to Eric Make a Mess. He's always tries to be the first one. He is traveling right now in Zurich, Switzerland. And he reached out to me to see if there was a specific swatch I was looking for.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. It looked like you guys were really flirting.
Well, I don't know him, but he is good friends with my good friend Caitlin's husband.
Okay.
So I don't think I have met him yet, but because of the show, have chatted quite a bit on Instagram. And I just thought that was so amazing that he was in Switzerland and willing to look for a swatch for me. So big shout out to Eric.
I feel like that's kind of why you started this podcast, is so that you can widen your network of like swatch connections.
Any connections.
Yeah.
Anyone to get me anything. It's funny because they didn't have it at the store we went to, and I was like, it's okay. I've already located it in South Africa, and there is one in another part of Switzerland. He's like, wow, you really... I was like, oh, you have no idea. Yeah, it's taken care of, but thank you for looking. And those are our shout outs for this week.
Awesome. Well, like I said, if you haven't left us a review on Apple Podcasts, please go ahead and do that. You can check us out on Instagram at OnBrandThePod, on TikTok at OnBrandThePodcast to see videos of the show and supplemental stuff and Jon's Insta eggs. And we will be back next week with an all new episode.
And as we love to say, we may go off topic, but we will always be on brand.
Bye.
Goodbye.